Okay, this is a CER Chart Mark II. I ran out of time on the last video, and there's probably a few things I should have said. I just didn't get time to say on the last one. But anyway, I think what we were saying is how we're talking about these action and reaction lines, and the last one we're looking at was the action line down here at the 20.5 cents, and then we had the hang on, I did the wrong thing. I confused myself last time by putting that at the 50%, at the 50% fib, when really I should have put it, that's the middle line, and that's the reaction line. That's the new reaction line there that we're anticipating, and that happens to cross up here on this upper time, and we're talking about time frame, and I was just pointing out here that if we draw an arrow to there and then to that last high there, if that arrow were to repeat again, it's exactly bang right on there. And you know, that's a bit freaky too. That's because it's completed on the 50% here, I suppose. But yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? If it wanted to go up there, if you're looking at that sort of time frame, it could do that earlier. But it's interesting to have a look at these things. What that tells me is that my forks are right, because if you're trying to, what the forks do is, Andrews pitchforks they're called, what they do is they're a way of taking snapshots of the past, and you got to make sure that your snapshots are right if you want to try and anticipate what might happen in the future. So that's just little signs that that my reasoning there is sound, and yeah, and I'll probably, and that also sets me up for the future when I do decide I want to trade CER. When I exit some positions next month, maybe it gives me a bit of a foundation to trade that chart. So yeah, that's but anyway, what I didn't have time sort of to explain was these forks and the action reaction lines are sort of based on the same principle, where you have the action line, the start line on the action reaction lines, and the middle line and the reaction line are points of, like points of decision, where you'll get resistance up here, and if it wants to break above that 50%, it makes a good strong move, then you're looking at the top there. So or they could hit there and then reverse back. The forks are sort of the same sort of thing. You've got a median line, and as we discussed before, you're trying to capture a median line, and then you've got two parallels on either side, and you're trying to capture the price action within these lines. And the idea of these median lines was that the theory is, and it's probably someone's argued it's more than a theory, but the theory is that price will revert to the median 80% of the time, and if it doesn't want to revert to the median, that tells you that the trend is changing. And you've got there another way of picking up the trend of a stock. You've got the normal way where you highlight a couple of pivots and try and maybe even three, and then you got this median line action is actually you're not trying to capture two or three lows, you're trying to capture a high, you're trying to capture the actual pivots, and they can be highs and lows, and that's what you and Andrews argued that was more significant trend line than your normal trend line that just picks up a couple of points. So that's the idea behind the pitchforks. And yeah, so what's going to happen in the immediate future? And we've got our eyes on this 29.5. What's going to happen in the immediate future? Well, we can have a look at some indicators to try and help us out. We've got the stochastics here. Hang on, keep them in. Oops, that's stuck me up. Bring that back down here, and that's a strong. It's had a strong up move there, the stochastics, and there we go. And that's pretty strong. They're in the they are in the overbought section, and they're threatening to curl down. So that may indicate that we may want to have a bit of a rest before we start moving up again. Where is it going to find support? Well, it's support on the 25.5 at the moment, but hang on, if I get rid of these. What am I doing? If I go back to my big forks here, I've got lines everywhere, so I've got to try and pick up the relevant one. This is the trigger line here of the red fork. Look, it may want to come back and support on the middle line here, and you've got this and we have got this actual with this middle line, and this we've got the median and the middle line of this action reaction range that we've drawn here crossing down here. So it may want to come back and retest the blue line and the previous support resistance line at 25 cents. May want to go there first. If it holds that, and I'm pretty confident that it probably will, then we can anticipate it moving back up to go back up to the top blue tine again. If it were to break down from there, then it may want to come back and back test the red fork here. But honestly, to me, I would, if I was trading the pitchfork rules, I would probably see this red trigger, the break of that red trigger, and the fact that it's closed above there, I would see that as a very positive move, and also the fact that it's challenging this black trigger up here. So they're positive moves. But having said that, it's you probably, if I were to pick it, I would probably pick a move down to there, possibly down to there. I think you'd be hopeful to try and get in at that level. You may do at maybe at 24 around there. There's a support resistance level there, but I think that there is a good possibility. And if you want to take a rest around that level there, then that would be unhealthy. And then before making a move up, and we've got our eyes on this. I would say that's probably, it wants to go to 29.5 cents as far as I can see there. If I was playing this, and I would keep that in play. I would keep that in mind unless this action line here broke down, which at 20.5 cents. In which case you start looking at these action reaction lines in reverse. They work just as well going down as they do going up. But otherwise, if it doesn't, I mean, it could even break below this line and support here, and that wouldn't be bad. If then when it broke back up, you'd look to the top line. But I'd still have that in mind unless this line down here broke. Then I'd be that'd be a bit of a worry to me. But otherwise, yeah, that would be how I'd pick it, the 29.5 cents. What else can we say? I've got plenty of time. Oh, I don't have that much time. I might just quit while I'm behind, a bit far ahead. But anyway, that's me waffling on. Sorry, I've waffled on about the one stock, but really I'm practicing my forks, and it's got a bit messy, but hopefully you got something out of it. I certainly did. So it's quite exciting, and you could even, it may even do that before it gets up there, you know, just as easily. Hang on, I'll roll that better, you know, something like that, like that maybe. You know, who knows? I mean, well, that's what I would have my that's what I would have my eye on up there, the 29.5, and yeah, I'd be looking for a I'll start looking for an entry if it wanted to hold support. You know, where it wanted to hold support, I'd be getting in there and looking at that top, that as the immediate target. And that's me done.